Remember those good old days of dual income, no kids, double-digit pay raises, and two-for-one stock splits? Well, these days, money's a lot harder to get a hold of and even harder to hang on to. That's why State Farm agent Paul Donning would like to introduce you to the Discount Double Check. He'll go through your car insurance policy line by line to make sure you're getting the best discounts you deserve and aren't leaving any money on the table. It's fast, it's free, and when he's done finding you 10% here, 15% there, you could look at discounts of up to 40%. That could mean savings worth hundreds of dollars, and that's a pretty good return for simply investing a few minutes of your time. So call State Farm agent Paul Donning today at 219-884-6947 because being there to help keep more of your money in your pocket is why he's here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the show. We are at the end of 2017, everybody, and it is Christmas time. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrating. I hope you have a merry one, whatever it is. So I celebrate Christmas, so I'm going to tell you guys Merry Christmas. Take it in the way that it is intended. All right, so let's jump into the show. So we have been reviewing the entire year of 2017 for the whole month of December. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in because if you missed anything at all during the year, any of those shows, I might mention it, at least a little piece of it. That'll give you the opportunity to go back and listen to any and all of those shows. So make sure you go back and listen to the shows that you've missed during the time. If I mention something you're not sure exactly what it is, go back and take a look at the titles of the show. Read the descriptions. You'll be able to find what you're looking for, I believe, if you do that. And you can catch it any and everywhere, it seems like. So, of course, on Spreaker.com, you can do that. You can go to iTunes if you're an iPhone user. You can go to Google Play. You can go to Alexa if you got Alexa. You can go to Stitcher or Cashbox or YouTube and listen to the show. So there's no excuse at all. And I know some of you guys got some time off during the holiday season. So if you got time off, take a little time to help yourself improve your credit score by listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. All right, so let's jump into this a little bit before we get into the show. So I was wondering, what is your favorite Christmas song and by what artist or group? So I think that my favorite song is from Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, and that's Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I think that's my favorite song. I also like Silent Night, but the Boys to Men version of Silent Night, even over the Temptations one, and I know my mother-in-law is going to kill me for that, but that's the one that I like. So what's yours? Shout me out. Send me a text at 312-600 5855 or find me on social media somewhere, Facebook and Instagram. I'm 800 Credit Score Man. On Twitter, it's at Credit Score _man on Twitter, or send me an email, 800 creditscoreman at gmail.com. Let me know what your favorite Christmas song is. All right, so last week we talked about paying your bills on time. So we all know that's a given. If you want to keep good credit, you've got to pay your bills on time. If you want to start your credit life over again to get good credit, you've got to pay your bills on time. So we talked about that last week. And we talked about collections, what to do with them, how to get them off of your credit report, all of those things, how to lower the amounts that you actually owe on this particular collection. So we talked about those things last week. Go back and listen to that. And when it comes to collection, I'll say to you, please go back and listen to the show that was all about collections. I give a whole bunch of tips in there, how to deal with the collection agencies, how to deal with the original collector, how to get them off of your credit report, how to reduce the amounts. I give painstaking detail how to do those things. So I'm going to suggest that you go back and listen to that. It's actually one of the highest listened to shows that we have on the 800 Credit Score Man show. So that means a lot of people have collections that they need to deal with. So go back and listen to that. So that's what we did last week. This week, we're going to continue that, and we're going to talk about other things that you can do to help you increase your credit score. So the first thing I want to mention about that is to check your credit. And the only reason I bring this up because it's interesting to me that some people have never checked their credit. I believe the statistics say 22 or 27% of people have never taken a look at their credit. They have no idea what's on it. They have no idea how to get it. They have no idea what their score is. So I'm going to tell you to check your credit. So I don't care if you check your credit if it's on Credit Karma or if it's on Credit Sesame or Quizzle or whatever entity you can to get your credit. Check your credit. You want to do that. Now, of course, you can also check your credit for free. You can check it. Those places I mentioned too, they are for free. So you can also get your credit for free at www.annualcreditreport.com. You can get your credit report for free there. You will not get a score there, but you will get your credit report. So you can look at your credit report and you can see what's what on there. And you can get all three there at www.annualcreditreport.com, all one word. So you can get that with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and you can look at your credit report. If you've never done it, I highly, highly suggest that you take a look at your credit report and see what's on there. Some places where you can get your FICO score, Discover.com. Yes, the people that have the credit card, they are offering you the ability to get your FICO score for free if you just give them a call, or you can actually go to Discover.com and you can get your FICO score for free. The FICO score is the score that most lenders use. 90 to 95% of lenders use your FICO score. That's different than the score that you'll get if you go to, say, Credit Karma. You get a Vantage score there, but it's a good gauge for you if you go to Credit Karma. But FICO score is the one that that most lenders will use. If you're trying to get a mortgage, they're going to use a FICO score. If you're trying to get a personal loan at a bank or one of the entities that do personal loans, they're going to use a FICO score. If you're going to try to get a car, they're going to use a FICO score. So that's the score that you want. So contact Discover. You do not have to be a client of them. You do not have to have a credit card with them or anything of that nature, and they'll give it to you for free at this point. You can also go to myfico.com. You can go there. Sometimes they're running a deal where you don't have to pay at all and whatnot. So go to myfico.com as well, and you can get your credit score there. So make sure you check your credit and you try to get your credit score somewhere as well. Now, if you do go to www.annualcreditreport.com, although they won't give you a free score, you can pay to get your score from any one of the 3 credit bureaus. And no, the score is not going to be the same from all 3 credit bureaus. You do have the same information, or it should be the same information on all 3. That's not necessarily the case all the time, and that's why you need to get all 3 and compare them. All right, so make sure you do that. So that's the first thing for us today. So I have to give a few shout outs. I gotta give this one shout out for sure. I gotta give a huge shout out. This not a kid anymore. This young man because I mention him at the end of every show. So I got to give a big shout out to Kobe. Kobe is going to be celebrating his birthday on Christmas Day. Yes, he is a Christmas baby, even though he's not a baby anymore. And I want to say, Kobe, I am so proud of you. I couldn't be any prouder at all. You're talking about a guy that's a budding journalist himself, a sports writer and whatnot. So I'm going to be posting some of his writings and some of the things that he's done with his school, Northern Illinois University. So happy birthday to you, Kobe. I also got to give a shout out to Dante Denson. Dante Denson is actually my nephew, and he is also a Christmas baby. So happy birthday to you, nephew. Again, no longer a baby, truly a grown man. I became an uncle when I was 7 or 8 years old. So we are close. And so we're almost more like brothers than we are uncle and nephew, but that's my nephew, y'all. So give him a happy birthday shout out as well, because he is a Christmas baby. All right, so let's jump into something else. To help you increase your credit score, I always talk about some of my favorite things. So if you listen to the 800 Credit Score Man show at all, this one will not be new to you, and that's becoming an authorized user. Why do I like this so much? Well, before I get to why I like it so much, let me tell you what it is. So an authorized user is, for example, let's talk about Kobe. So if I were to take my credit card, say with any bank, XYZ bank, and I take my credit card and I call them up and say, I want you to add Kobe to my credit card. So he'll be able to use it. He'll get his own card. It'll have his name on it, and he'll be able to use it. So not only will he be able to use it, it will also go on to his credit report. And so even though, say, I added in December of 2017, but I've had the card since 1999, if I've had it that long, he'll get the full weight of all of that card from 1999 on his credit report. So he'll get all those on-time payments added to his credit report. He'll get the benefit of having whatever the limit is and what the debt utilization is. Your debt utilization is your balance versus what your limits are. So he'll get that full benefit. So let's say this particular card is, say, a $10,000 limit, but I only owe $1,000 on it. So that's what, a 10% debt utilization. That is very, very good for my credit, and it's good for his credit as well. And it's basically instantaneous. So soon as they add that to his credit report, he's going to get that full weight placed on his credit, and then that's going to help boost his score. Could boost his score by 50 points, could boost his score by 60 points, could boost his score by 100 points because it's that good of a card. So that's what an authorized user is, and that's the reason that I like it the most. Because if I do that in December now, by the time it hits his credit report, say in January, maybe at the latest in February, his credit score will absolutely go up because he's going to get the full weight of the debt utilization, how long I've had the card, which is your length of history. Length of history is 15% of your credit score. Payments, on-time payments, that's 35% of your credit score. So that's 50% right there. And then with the debt utilization being good, under 30%, that's going to be good for him too. That's another 30%. So 80% just off of that one thing helps him when it comes to that. Now let's say Kobe doesn't have any credit cards. He has he got a student loan or whatever it is. And so then when you add the credit to it, the credit card to it, you're talking about your mix. So in your mix, which also makes up 10% of your credit score, in the mix itself, you're going to get both entities. You're going to have the installment loan as well as revolving because of the credit card. So that's what happens when you become an authorized user. I highly, highly suggest it to people that are trying to recover from some things, people that are starting to start out and start new credit. Becoming an authorized user on somebody's good credit card with good payment history and a long length of history is absolutely good for you. So that's what I'm going to tell you today. Make sure if you have the opportunity to do this, it's going to be good for you. If you're a couple, say you got married 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or you just got married last month, and one of you do not have a credit card at all, but you're going to buy a house or you're looking to buy a home soon, add your new spouse to one of your credit cards. Now, even if you think that your credit card is too spendy, they like to spend a lot of money and they get that card in their hand, they're going to go ahead and run up the balance on it. Even if you think that, you can still get them the card. That doesn't mean they have to hold it in their pocket. They don't have to put it in their pocketbook. They don't have to carry it to them every time they go to the store. You can leave that bad boy at home, but you still get all of the benefits of becoming an authorized user. So that's one thing. I get a lot of couples contact me because they want to buy a home soon, and one or the other, the man or the woman, are usually one has better credit than the other. So the one with the lower credit score, that's the person that you want to help out. You want to bring them along with you. And that's the same thing I want you to do as well when it comes to this show. I want you to share this show. Share this show with all of your friends and your family. Don't you be the only one with the good credit score. Make sure that you bring your friends and your family along. So share this show with all of your peeps. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's do this. We are almost at the halfway point of the show already. let me do a couple more shout outs, and we're gonna jump into the question of the day. So I gotta give this shout out to the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha. So one of the newest, if not the newest, chapter has come aboard in California, and that's Omega Upsilon Omega. They are a new chapter